Hey you guys, it's Britt. Today we're here with a brief update on the Ruby Franke, Jodi Hildebrandt, Kevin Franke situation. There have been a couple of things that have happened recently that I would like to talk to y'all about. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so let's start out with this article that caused the reaction from two of the Franke kids on social media. This article did come out just over a week ago, and it says the ex-husband of convicted child Ruby Franke is calling on lawmakers to change how police and the Utah Division of Child and Family Services investigate cases of abuse. He says there are too many loopholes in the system that made it easy for Franke and co-defendant Jodi Hildebrandt to hide what was happening to his children. As a side note, Kevin could have also done more, but I've had that conversation before. Top officials with DCFS were called before lawmakers on the Child Welfare Legislative Overnight Panel and asked specifically about the Franke case. Some panel members say they've been waiting for answers for months, but DCFS wasn't able to provide specific details while the criminal trial was ongoing. Before the panel heard information about the Franke case, Kevin Franke made a statement. He claims Hildebrandt, a licensed mental health care provider, knew the child care system like the back of her hand. He says Hildebrandt coached his ex-wife on how to hide from the police. One tactic, according to Franke, was very simple. He says Hildebrandt taught his then wife to not answer the door when police investigated. Not to answer the door, not to speak with authorities, DCFS, or police, just remain silent. As long as everybody remains silent, then within a specified amount of days, typically 30, the case closes by itself, he says. Franke was separated from his wife for a year before her arrest. Since then, he has heard stories about police being on his porch, hoping to go inside to check on his children, but a judge wouldn't sign a warrant to approve their entering the home. They were standing on the front porch and they could see the children. They could see my former wife through the window, ignoring them, Franke says. They said even with all the reports and all the red flags that were given to them by our oldest daughter, Shari, and by neighbors, they still couldn't intervene. Officials with DCFS are still not allowed to divulge information about this specific case for privacy reasons. However, DCFS Director Tanya Myrup says the division doesn't have the authority to enter a home without a warrant. She says non-cooperative parents are typically the hardest to deal with. In those cases, if we have a family that might be hesitant to engage with us, we are able to talk to our attorneys and see what we can do to continue to ensure that the children in the home are safe. Panel co-chair, State Representative Christine Watkins believes DCFS was honest and forthcoming about the Franke case, and she still doesn't believe anyone left out any details of their reporting. Still, she believes this case pointed out some clear flaws in the child care system. People being able to hide behind closed doors, not answering their doors, not answering their phones, and because there's no access, and we can't see the kids and we can't see what's going on, that's a problem, Watkins says. So obviously, the Franke case, so heartbreaking, so devastating. And, I think about those two kids that were rescued just in the nick of time constantly. I think about them and I hope that they are healing and in a safe space and getting the therapy and the correct therapy that they obviously will need for a very long time. I think about them and I still have a lot of reservations about how I feel about Kevin and his kind of hands-off approach, because like I said, I'm not a parent, but I couldn't just have a hands-off approach because I'm told to do so by some Looney Tune therapist lady, Jodi. But I do try to hold some space because I realize you haven't been in that situation, you don't know what you would do. but I think a lot of us have kind of the same level of concern when it comes to just how much Kevin decided to step back and allow things to unfold. So Chad and Shari have both shared on their social media about this. Chad posted, "Congrats, Dad. It's incredible what you're doing," with a heart emoji. And Shari said, "Very proud of my father, who spoke in front of the state legislature today to advocate for change with DCFS policy. I had put my name on his statement as I contributed to it and approved 100%. There are so many changes that need to be made in so many areas of law and society. This is just the beginning of our journey to make that change." So I am glad that current day Kevin is getting involved and using his voice, and if his kids are choosing to support him, then that is their choice to do. Obviously, I think a lot of us wish that we could go back in time and fix this or have that be different. It's just none of this had to happen. None of this had to happen. It didn't and shouldn't have even gone 2 steps in the direction that it did with Ruby and Jodi. Like I said, I think logically speaking, all that we can do is hope that the kids are loved and getting the guidance and support that they need right now. And maybe Kevin will be able to make a change. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But obviously his kids are supporting him. And we'll just have to wait and see. But that's what's going on with Kevin Franke and this situation. So I'll keep an eye on it. But as always, for now, if you like the video, please leave a like in the comments. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.